See.
Okay, perfect. Welcome, welcome everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being with us this evening to help us celebrate International Education Week. We're a big group tonight, and Alexa, you want to go to the next slide? Awesome, very good. So again, welcome. I will just read a few sentences from our director. So happy International Education Week 2020, and welcome to this program sponsored by the Office of International Programs at KUMC. According to the Department of State, International Education Week, or IEW, November 16th to the 20th, 2020, is an opportunity to celebrate the benefits of international education and exchange worldwide. This joint initiative of the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Department of Education is part of our efforts to promote programs that prepare Americans for a global International Education Week. Is a week for celebration. Oh my goodness, I skipped a line there. For a global environment and attract future leaders from abroad to study, learn, and exchange. I think I need to put my glasses on. There we go. International Education Week is a week for celebration, a celebration for diverse cultures, languages, people, and the relationships and connections we have forged here and across oceans and continents. This is a time to celebrate our friendships and celebrate our collective and individual accomplishments. Today, we are ready for a celebration. After a very difficult year due to the complexities of COVID-19, which halted international mobility, as well as new proposed immigration rules and presidential proclamations, which created additional uncertainties and anxiety. This week is our opportunity to stop and shine a spotlight on the wonders and the wonderfulness of interacting with people from around the world. While international travel has halted, our international engagement has not been stopped. We continue to communicate and engage virtually with our friends and partners around the world, like we're doing tonight. We're not discouraged, rather, we're leveraging opportunities. OIP started Foundations of Global Health, a year-long series of presentations geared to prepare our community to be leaders and catalysts for change, who defeat health disparities by ensuring health equalities. In the face of proposed immigration rules and changes, we at KUMC have stood in solidarity with our international friends, colleagues, and coworkers. Here at KUMC, we know better than anyone how much our international friends can contribute to our community and how desperately we would miss any of them if they chose to work, study, or do research elsewhere. Diversity is essential to creativity of thought and expanding our mental horizon and understandings. Simply put, we all need to interact with one another who think differently and perceive the world differently, as it makes each of us better, smarter, and a little more empathetic and understanding. As Senator Fulbright stated, we must try to expand the boundaries of human wisdom, empathy, and perception, and there is no way of doing that except through education. The essence of intercultural education is the acquisition of empathy, the ability to see the world as others see it, and to allow for the possibility that others see something we have failed to see, or may see it more accurately. We know the value of individuals from around the world who come to the US to study, and how their presence in America contribute even more profoundly than the 41 billion they contribute yearly to higher education, as reported by NAFSA, the National Association of International Educators. International students, researchers, and employees are a part of the heart of our institution and are woven into the beautiful tapestry of American higher education and American society. To say we're grateful for their presence seems grossly inadequate. We could not imagine our lives here at KUMC without the presence of internationals and international exchange. All right, welcome to this evening's presentation of Foundations of Global Health. All right, so the goal of Foundations of Global Health is designed to connect residents, students, and learners and faculty to leaders in global health. This series is created to support the development of global health professionals, giving participants inspiration, as well as shaping attitudes around global health so that we at KUMC are trendsetters who move beyond the us, them, and have not mentality to a platform of equality and mutualism, which garners true collaboration and global health exchange for everyone's equal benefit. The goal of this series is to inform participants about the field of global health in its entirety, to include global health research, philosophy, approaches, attitudes, and the varied efforts in the areas of health disparities, health inequities, and community health. Next slide. All right. Here are some of our upcoming events. We have Dr. Alan Greiner, who will present to us as part of Foundations of Global Health on December 1st. We have Dr. Nathan Barr on January 25th, as well as Dr. Halsey, who will present to us on February 8th. All these wonderful events are on the event calendar. All right, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Francisco Mendez. Dr. Mendez is a rural Mayan doctor working in the highlands of Guatemala, providing primary health care, health education, and hospital services. He holds a master's in public health from Universidad Rafael Ladiva. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Dr. Mendez, from Guatemala City, and a doctorate in medicine from Universidad San Carlos, Guatemala City. Dr. Mendez is a medical director at Hospital San Pedro in Guatemala and is responsible for the management and administration of the 10-bed hospital there. He trains local and international students and volunteers in health education and intercultural activities. And since 2018, Dr. Mendez's clinic at the Hospital San Pedro has been the clinical site for University of Kansas Medical Center International Outreach, our KUMC IO group, first and second year medical students. With that, I'd like to just point out that we do have an interpreter this evening. Her name is Sarah Kurtz, so if you need to pin her, please find in the chat how to do that. And we also have with us Carlos, who will be helping with translating. So Dr. Mendez, floor is yours.
Yeah, good evening to everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I want to introduce Luis. He is the spiritual guide. Many of the students from the first and second year that already visited Guatemala a couple years ago and last year, so they already know Luis. So he will help me to explain more about the Mayan ceremony. So in the last couple of weeks, we talked with a traditional bureau attending that it's part of the rural health system, the traditional health system in Guatemala. And now we have the chance to have a conversation with Luis. So the first two slides, it's basically reminding that the traditional medicine, it's something that the World Health Organization it's trying to understand and see what's happened all around the world and not just in the Mayan culture. So that's the definition that we already checked a couple weeks ago. The health system in Guatemala, basically it's divided by the Western medicine, that it's mostly of the hospitals and health centers, including this 10-bed hospital. But the traditional medicine, it's the most common resource of health services in rural communities. If you can you imagine living in the rural area with 80% of the population in a poverty level? So the most accessible resource to medicine is traditional medicine. So and we have basically 4 areas of the traditional medicine. We have the traditional beer attendant, the guia espiritual, or some people can know like shaman or Mayan priest. We have also bone healer or herbalist also. So, and now we have the chance to talk with Luis, that is our guia espiritual, or spiritual guide here in this community. So I want to let Luis to explain a little bit more about his role as a spiritual guide in the Mayan community here in San Pedro, and probably as we did the last couple of weeks, you can just ask your questions, and then Christine and Carlos can help us to translate the questions. So we can just during the whole presentation, we can just answer the question. Or if you feel Christine more convenient, then we can answer the question at the end of the presentation. It's up to you. You take the decision. So I want to let Luis to start talking about his role as a spiritual guide in this community.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I cannot see you, all of you, but my name is Luis. I am from San Pedro, and I know some of you, I think, because you stay here last year, and it's nice to have this time, and I hope you have a good day today and you receive a good blessing from the God, because we work with this energy connected with God. So in the beginning, for me, my role in the community, it's very important. We call, like the doctors told before, I am a guide, a spiritual guide. And in this time, we have many words about this person or these people who works with the community. Some people call shaman. Maybe you remember we say something like that. Mexican use more like that term, like shaman. And we sometimes the people use different names, but for us, the principal things is like spiritual guide. Our work, or my job, or my role in the community is to help people to clarify, to understand, to connect people with the nature. When the people have some problems, any kinds of problems, sometimes we try to resolve together. And the function, the role for the spiritual guide, it's very important to understand the people about their problem, or his problem or her problem, depends the people come. It's for everybody, for all people, for women, for men, or for children, young people, wherever. So in this case, we try to do anything and to help people when they come to us. Sometimes it's necessary to hear the people what's the problem they have. So it's important to hear the people, because it's necessary to understand in the function for us is to try to find what's the problem or what's the reason their problem. Because sometimes we have, and I understand some about this, I hear the doctor before he says we have the traditional medicine or the occidental medicine. So it's important. Sometimes we know when the people come to the doctor, they say, they write, I have a pain here and here. And sometimes people, the doctors prescribe some medicine and that's it. Sometimes, but for in the community and our role, it's to understand where the problem starts, when the situation, the people, when they had the problem, if they have some problems together or in their own family, or sometimes they have specific event in his life, on their life. So we try to search the principal reason why they have the problem. Because I told you last time, many things or many problems we have sometimes start in our mind, or because many things happen, problems with the family, economy, job, no job, problems, no health, food, everything. So it's very important. Sometimes with us, we meet people, they want to do a specific ceremony. And this idea, we try to prevent many things. Sometimes people come, they have the problem, but it's not too bad. They start some problem. And then we try to do is to help these people to understand and to change some habits or some things, and then to keep or to connect or to have a good balance together or between the nature, between everything we have in our life. This is one of our roles. That's why we try to clarify, to show the people, to look for, to search many things to help these people. And other things, it's our role, like a guide, is to keep or to continue our knowledge, the ancestors' knowledge, because with we at this time we have a lot of influence for everything. We have many influence, economy, technology, science, everything. And sometimes the people, they can work with these things and they start to unbalance. They have an unbalance and then they start with problems. That's why we try to explain and to keep this knowledge, our answers. And we want to, it's not bad, it's not, we think everything is good. Everything is important in our life. But the problem, sometimes we lose or we start losing many things, many ways how our ancestors to teach us, or they had a specific relationship with the nature, relationship with everything in the community, with everything we have, because this is a good knowledge how to prevent everything, how to prevent problems, how to prevent illness, how to live better and happy. And all these things we want to keep. It's hard because everybody likes to do everything easy. A telephone, everything makes easy our life easy, but sometimes we think for sure it's important, but sometimes if we have stuck in some things, we start our problems. That's why we want to teach, in this case, for example, how to continue our knowledge, just to keep doing. Here, the old people, it's a shame because in our town, in San Pedro, a lot of people who works with this knowledge already have died. So it's sad because we couldn't hear them, we couldn't understand them. It's very sad. But we are still some people, we want to increase this knowledge. So it's important for us to share with people. In my case, sometimes I talked with my family, my children, and this is how we keep going all this knowledge. That's why we try, when I talk to people in my experience, because it's very important to understand the guy, a spiritual guy, and to connect it with the everything's. But the problem, the biggest problem my experience is how to people understand, or to make people understand, because I can say this, I have to say this, the religion, when they came, when they introduce or to force to change our religion, so people start to think, okay, all this part of the things, the healing, the spiritual guy, because we call like a spirituality. No, it's not a religion. But the people say the religion, the Catholic religion or the church, they say, no, this is the bad, it's the evil, it's everything is bad things, like negative things. But in this case, our job, our role is another things we do. In my experience, I try to explain, to talk with the people when they come to ask, to want to know something. We want to say or to tell the people, it's important to understand everything we do, it's not bad. Start to change a little bit, not to change their mind, but to explain it, to be open, to respect everything we have. That is the things. And another things for us is to give or to help people to give a positive energy, or to provide a good energy with the ceremonies. This is other things is very important. But if we want to provide a good energy or positive energy, it's important to understand we have to fight sometimes with the bad energy or the negative energy. That's the things we try to do, and it's important because the people, we want the people can be more happy, more health, and to be more, how would you say this? It's more important to have a good energy in his family, on their families. This is very important for us. That's why we work. And this is my role in the community. And I hope you understand this part. If I don't know if you have any question, or we go the next part.
One thing that I would like to talk a little bit more about this is that when we are sharing our knowledge, or when Luis is sharing his knowledge with young people like students from KU, another way that we can keep our culture alive in the world. So I think one of the side effects of this pandemic with the coronavirus is that took the life of many of the old population, the people with more knowledge in our community, and some of these people has the skills to be the spiritual guide of our communities. So that's the reason that it's very, very important for people like Luis to share their knowledge with young students like you. And also, one thing that I really enjoy when we have the Mayan ceremonies with Luis, he usually bring her young daughter. One second. She used to come to the Mayan ceremony, and she's trying to involve and learn also how to guide or participate in a Mayan ceremony. So this next slide, it's showing, and I would like can we see the previous slide, please? The previous one. There we go. So in this, we have the Mayan calendar, and Luis is going to explain that each day it's different, and each person that we have around us have a different mission according to the Mayan calendar and according to the knowledge of the Mayan culture. Please, Luis.
Thank you. And just to add something, when we share people, but we share young people, and when I share my children, it's important to explain them, to clarify everything, because like I told you before, many influence, especially the religion, when they say everything is bad, it's bad, it's bad, so what we can do it? So everything is have a specific reason, a specific energy, a specific thing. So that's why it's very important for us. So in the Mayan ceremonies, like I told before, it's to prevent many things, to heal people. But we have a Mayan calendar. Everything's in the past, our culture and the Mayan culture, they have connection with everything. They had connection, and we have connection with everything, and we have 20 days in the Mayan calendar, and each day have their own energy. And that's why it's important to understand, because the Mayan calendar, it's connected with your health, with your life, with the nature, with the harvest, with the moon, with the air, with the water. Disconnected everything, because our life depends on this thing. That's why we have these days. I will start with today. Today it's, they say the name, the day today is Toch. And Toch, it's a specific day. The Toch, it's a day. Today you can offering. You have to use this date. We say Toch means like to pay. If you receive something, you have to pay something. So if you receive your life, your breath, your mind, your body, you are healthy, you are happy, you have a good family, a big family, everything, your job, your money, everything, you have it. Today is a specific day, and this day we can to be grateful to the God. And we use this day just to offering like you want, wherever you want, everything you want, because we use different things and explain later what we use, what we use during the ceremony. But today it's a specific day to be grateful for everything, to the God, to the nature, to the life, for your life, for your family, for everything you have it. So this is specific, and this represents the fire. This is the first ceremonies our ancestors in the Mayan culture, they did to be grateful because they continued their life, they have a life. So, and we use the fire in these days to heal too, because the fire is very sacred. So that is very important for this day to do this thing. We have specific days. Sometimes people don't use this for start a business. If you want a ceremony, you have to choose a specific day. Tomorrow is it's another day they call Tse. This is the name of the day. We say Tse, but the Tse means, if I translate literal, Tse, it's like a dog. But we don't say like a dog, but we represent this day, and all the days is connected with God. That's why sometimes people confuse, because they say the Mayan was polytheistas, the Mayan was pagans, and because they have many goddesses, and we say God for the 20 days. Because why we say God? Because it's one God. We believe in one God, but it's parts of this God is like 20. It's like everyone or everybody has 20, we say fingers in Spanish. We say we have 10 fingers and 10 toes, but we say like 20. This is represent all the help God to do some things in our life. So the day tomorrow, it means or represent the authority, because God is authority. He is a judge, he's a lawyer, he's a secretary, he's a leader. So for us, that's represent. And this day, it's important when the lawyers want to do a specific thing for laws, they use this day. And if people like or have some problem with the law, they use this day to help, to ask for helping, support, or knowledge, or ideas. If they have bad things in their life, or they have to do to fix something or to arrange something, some problems with the law, with neighbors, with people, with family. So these days is very important to use. And this day you can do a ceremony for these things or for these needs. After that, we have another day. It's called Bat. And Bat, it's another day specific. We say, in this day we can use for healing. And but because it's very important, some people or sometimes in our life we tie problems, we can roll in problems in our mind, in our soul, in our body, many things. So this day it's very important. It's a lot of spiritual guides used for healing, to untie problems or problems in your mind and your body, everything. This day is very important, but this day also represent is the first woman in the Mayan culture. They say this is great, the God created the first woman. That's why it's very important. The midwives use a lot this day to untie, because when the woman is pregnant, so they use this day to help the woman, the pregnant woman, for the birth and everything, to control the woman. That's this day is very important. After that, we have another day. It's A. It's another day. It's very important, and we say the God is a. It's a path. It's a way. It's everything where we walk, and it's not literal. Sometimes it's literal, sometimes not. In our life, we have a path, and this day is very important to open opportunity, to open everything, to because God is a path. So we say, okay, can open to understand your life, to understand, because sometimes young people or any kind of or any people, sometimes we have a problem to decide what can I do, what is my mission, what is my profession, because a lot of people try to start your life, your opportunity, to look for a job. This day it's very important to understand. That's why we ask, and when offer in a ceremony, we ask to God to understand our path, because sometimes we decide to do something, but you don't feel happy. And when we feel unhappy, it's because our path is wrong. So we need to change and to move and to understand, to change your path, to change your studies, or to change your profession or something. So this is important for this day. After this day is we have another day. It's it's like sugar cane, like a sugar cane or like bamboo, everything. So it is important because this day represent to the family, the community, to be together, to be happy, to help each other. But it's very important this day to ask or to pray or to do a ceremony for the family, especially for children, because the Ach represent the new life, the continued life. It's the meaning of this day. The next day is Ish. This is represent everything, the earth. We call in Mayan, we say like the mother earth. So the mother, like, in real life, our mother is very worried about the children. If the woman prepare everything, if the children is happy, it's need to food, need to change the clothes, everything. So we know some people in some cultures they say Pachamama, but we say like the Mother Earth. They offer us everything, our food, our medicine, the trees, the water, the air, everything we have is because the Mother Earth give us. So this is very important for everything, and the ceremony is very important to be grateful for everything we receive from the earth. Next day, it's called Tzikin. This represents the richness. And sometimes people confuse when we say richness. For the Mayan, and the culture Mayan, we say the richness is to have a good life, health. You have to eat something, you breathe, you have your mind, you have your body, you can work, you can share, you can talk, you can happy, you can smile, you can laugh with everybody. This is richness in the beginning. For sure, it's important everything when we work, and this is the important things. The big richness for us is if you have life, if you have a good life, if you're happy, you can sleep well, you can work well, you can eat well, you can share, you can talk with people. If you are those things, if you work, if you can work, so for sure the material things come to us. So that's important to understand. But if you want to start a new business, a new job, this day it's important to do a ceremony. After this day, we have Ahmak. Ahmak is like the forgiveness, and the sin and forgiveness and the sin. So this is another day, very important to forgive people, and it's important to understand when the human being, we have mistakes, we wrong, and we have different, sometimes we often people, sometimes we often neighbors, our brothers, sometimes we makes problems. So this day is very important to take out bad energy, negative energy. And this day is very interesting because connected with the answers for dreaming. So this is very important for us because it's important to understand the dreaming. After this, we have Noh. Noh is the knowledge, the intelligence. This day, if you have problem with your knowledge or your mind, so this day is important to use to ask for a good mind, good thoughts. It's very important for this day. After this day, we have Tihash. Tihash is another day. It's very important day because Tihash is very specific day for healing. We call, and when we do the ceremony, we say the God is the best doctor, is the biggest doctor, is the best nurse, is the best hospital, is the best medicine. And this day, and Tihash is like a knife. They cut everything, the bad energy. That's the one important day. Tihash is the represent all the doctors, all the medicine, all the hospital, all the nurses, like you are. This day is like, ¿cómo se dice? Como un guía para. It's like a guide for all the people who works with health or healing. This day is very important to represent all the doctors, all the medicine, or everything. This day is very important for sometimes when we do the ceremony, when we want to heal somebody, this day is very specific. That's for you, it's very important to understand this day, Tihash. And after Tihash, we have Kawok is connected with the rain, the storm, everything, because it's part of our life. If some people, sometimes in the past, they use this day when we don't have much rain, and the nature, we do these ceremonies to ask God to have rain for the harvest or for the planting, for the corn, for the beans, for everything, for trees, everything. After this, we have Ahpu. It's another day represent the sun. We say the Father Son or the Father God. We say this, and it's very important in our life because Ahpu, it's a day in represent the sun because it makes the life clear. The day you can see, you can do everything during the day. For sure, we can do the night, but sometimes we understand it's a big planet who influence our life. And this day is important. If you want to do a specific thing, you can point. It's like a target. If you have a target, if you point and you do something, it's very important to do ceremony. And then after we have Imosh, it's another day. Imosh represent the water. It's another day. It's important to ask an Imosh. Some people, you know, this part, many people have no balance in their mind. They sometimes, I don't know if it's the same in English to say bipolar, it's the same.
Bipolar.
Bipolar, some people it's like bipolar, their mind is like here, and go up and down and changing so fast. Emotion represent this because it's the water. The water is no stable, it's moving. And when the moon affected the emotion or the water, you understand it's moving. So it's very important to help people with this problem, with their mind. So that's important day. And then we have Ir. Ir is the wind. So it's the specific day because it's our center, our life, because we breathe the wind, and the wind is inside in our body. We have oxygen in our body, so the wind is important. And the wind move everything, clean the water, clean everything. So sometimes when we use this day for ceremony, we ask to clean everything we have in our life, to blow the bad things, the negative energies. After that, we have Abash is represent the day and the night. So with this day, it's very important. A lot of spiritual guys use this day Abash when we have situation it's very hard situation, and you need to understand, you need to clarify, and you need to clear. So this day is very important because it's the sunrise, it's the sunset, but the sunrise is to appear the new day, the new sun. So that's why we use this day, and to understand, because it's very important in the Mayan culture, all the dreams connect with healing, connect with your problem, connect the body, your mind, your feelings. It's very important in this day is to understand all the the meaning, the dreams, to understand what's happened in the people life. After that, we have cat. Cat means like a net. When you have a net, you can trap or to trap many things. Like in the sea, it's like an idea to trap everything. Sometimes our life trap everything, and sometimes it's not necessary in our life. We need to take out, to throw away. So this day is important to ask for these situations too. Then we have Kan. Kan represent is people say is the protector for the mountains, the nature. Kan, it's very interesting day because it's important day to ask to be very strong in our mind and our body. Because a lot of people, sometimes they afraid for everything. And when they have afraid, the problem, if they have problem in their life and their body, you you know this, the immunity, it's low, it's go down, and the problem can be increased and they have more problems. That's why we ask in these days to have very strong mind. And I can see something because we have in this year a big problem with the pandemic, with the COVID. So we understand and we know in the Mayan culture, we understand everything we exist. We hear and we have some friend or people who know, we know they had problem with this illness, with this pandemic, with this COVID. But many things in this time, everybody, a lot of people, they are afraid. They are more afraid than the reality. So this day is very important to use to help people to be more strong. Keme, it's another day. The next day, Keme, it's for the ancestor, represent the death. And we use this day also for healing the bad, the terminal illness. Sometimes we say people have problems with cancer, with the strong or the worst illness. We use this day Keme because it's the death, and we try to not to fight against the death, just to ask God to have a new opportunity for the illness people in this situation. And then we have Kier. Kier is the represent the four part of the world, the earth. We have the north, the south, east, west. This part is very important, and this our support is our base to be very strong. So that's why we use this to be strong people too, and represent to lead or leader. We use this day for the spiritual guide because it's to lead a group, to lead your family, to lead your community. This is very strong day to ask this. And then the last day, it's Anil, like yesterday. Anil was represent everything to food us, like corn, beans, everything we can eat. This represent this this day, and we use this day for to seed or to plant it for the community, corn, everything, fruits. This represent our food, and we ask for a good food, a good health, everything for our life. This is the whole days in the Mayan. I think it's longer. We have more, but I think it's the principle for this day.
Thank you very much. And I know we're almost at time already. I did want to see if perhaps there are any questions. I know we have a big group on tonight. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, in the next slide, basically it's I mean a brief description of the role of the Mayan ceremony. And if you please pass to the next slide, you will see the picture. There you go. So some of the students from KU, including one of the doctors, Dr. Ryan, and then it's basically how the ceremony is. We try to choose when we have our students here, national or international students, we try to choose the right place to do the ceremony. And then Luis take the time to explain all the description of a Mayan ceremony. And also in the next slide, we have some candles. And during the ceremony, we use some tools that is necessary for each ceremony, including incense, flowers, candles. So all the materials that we use during a ceremony have a meaning, the colors, the flowers. So each thing have a very important meaning for the Mayan ceremony. So, and in the next slide, I have this picture. We have a patient just yesterday in a car accident. This is a young boy, 16 years old, having an accident, a car accident. And then the reason to put this picture is to explain a little bit about the connection between the epidemiological profile of the Mayan medicine and what we are doing in our hospital. In our hospital, we try to keep the balance, try to do what all you know that we have to do in a hospital, like put an IV, start an IV, try to put some oxygen, take blood pressure or everything. But at the same time, we ask to the family to do what they need to do in the community to try to make our patients feel more comfortable. And most of the time during an accident, we have one of the most common health problems that we call pérdida del espíritu. It's a kind of a loss of the soul. And then mostly of our spiritual guide have to do a kind of a ceremony in the place of the accident to make sure to bring again the soul to the body. So, and we know that, and we put the title like the evidence-based medicine, because for sure, I know that this really works. So, I mean, it's not something that because it's just part of the culture, but we can see that when we try to keep the balance between the Western medicine and the traditional medicine, we can see that mostly of our patients recovery their health. So that's the reason that we can say that evidence-based medicine it's showing to us than traditional medicine working together with the Western medicine. It's the best, one of the best, and probably it's one of the most cost-effective way to work in the health of a community. So that's basically what we have for this evening. If you have any question, please, we are open to answer any question with the help, with also the help of Carlos Guzman to help us to translate.
All right, please, at this time, feel free to take your mic off mute and ask any questions. We did have a comment in the chat from Kelly Richardson. She said, it's amazing the amount of similarity between, then I cannot pronounce this word. Kelly, help me out here. Are you on?
I can help you out.
Oh, thank you.
If that's all right.
Yes.
Es el curanderismo.
Yeah, curanderismo, or some places too, depending on the practitioner, it could also be called a brujeria. But we see it quite a lot where I'm at here in KC, in the Latin community, at least with curanderismo. People doing limpia is very similar to the ceremony that Luis was describing. So I just wanted to make that comment that it's really nifty to see that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the comment.
I do have a quick question. You said you asked the community to do certain things so that the patient feels better. What are some things that the community does beside going to the place of the accident?
¿Qué cosas hacen las familiares cuando hay un accidente, cuando van a traer el espíritu? la parte de solo.
Okay, in the beginning, we are like a spiritual guy, but we have some people specific do this ceremony. This is more specific because they come to the people to ask to help, and they ask first where the patient has the accident, the place, and then they use the people say, okay, we do the ceremony. They try to use the midnight. Why the midnight? Because it's connected the change in the day, but it's very important to be silent in the community. No people walk in the street because they use, I didn't bring, but they use candles. Sometimes candles, in this case, they use like the white candles because they want to do the best thing to connect it, to clean it, to try to bring again the soul to the body. And they do in the evening, some people use 4 or 6 candles, three whites, and sometimes they use 3 yellow. This is to connect it because we have other colors, but in different situation, different problems, they use these candles. Sometimes we use the tobacco. This is very important, and this for healing to help. But for this in specific, this question is the guide go with 2 members of the family. They have to know where where was the accident, and they pray there, and they use water, the simple water. Sometimes they use liquor, but normally it's water, and they use a belt, or sometimes use a rope, and they, ¿cómo se dice? Somatan, to splash, or como to hit the belt to the street or to the stone where the people has the accident. They to say the name and to do this from the place where was the accident to their house. They try to do the patient has to be in the bed, and nobody has to talk, just concentrate, praying, and to say the name of the patient in the way on the street to go to the house. This is how they do. And then when they stay, the patient is very interesting because the reaction, everybody has different reaction. But because I have been in some of this, people say like a big breath, and then start to moving, and sometimes people shaking. It's different reaction. It's very interesting, and sometimes the patient start to sweat, and then when the problem or the accident was longer or long after many times, the people or the patients feel like, oh, where I am, and then say, I am too tired. It's like I walk a long way, and now I'm tired, I'm thirsty, and sometimes some people sweat.
Mm-hmm.
That's their reaction. That is how they work.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any other questions?
The other things, sorry, just I want to say something else.
Yeah.
When a lot of people or some people don't do this ceremony, when they don't do this ceremony, even the medicine, or even the people or the patient took the medicine or take the medicine never can help a little bit, but after a week, 2 weeks, start again with the problem. Start again the problem. It's because something is not complete in their body, because they have the body but not the soul. So that's why they have to do this. And then when they're together, after this, if they take the medicine, everything works fast.
There we go. I'm not sure if probably we are taking so long with the presentation.
No worries. No, that was
Okay.
most informative. Thank you so very much. Alexa, would you mind just briefly talking about our Monday and Tuesday event as part of our Native American Heritage Month? I don't think I mentioned those earlier.
That's okay. Yes. So on Monday, we will have a member from the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation discussing the COVID-19's impact on the Native American community. And on Tuesday, we will have a presentation by Representative Sharice Davids.
Very good. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Mendez. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you.
Yeah, to share your culture and customs. It's really interesting to hear.
Thank you.
All right. And lots of thank yous in the chat as well.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay, have a good night. Thank you, Christine.